Despite committing a wide range of criminal activities, including purchasing an entire airline just to traffic heroin and sell nuclear weapons, Semion Yudkovich Mogilevich is still living a free and happy mob life. He has a grip on Russian-Ukrainian gas companies, his alleged links to Donald Trump, and rumors say that him and Vladimir Putin are besties. Despite sticking out like a sore thumb on FBI's wanted list, he lives freely in Russia to this day. The question remains, how? Well, stick around to find out. Mogilevich's bread and butter are mostly extortion, large-scale drug trafficking, prostitution, and even nuclear weapons trading. At one point, he was even considered an existential threat to Israel and Eastern Europe. Even though his nickname is Brainy Don for his bachelor's degree in economics and financial acumen, Mogilevich also graduated from the University of Violence. It's believed that he employed highly skilled Afghanistan war veterans as his enforcers to butcher his enemies and traitors so badly that other Russian crime groups quietly disappeared. Also, he has been known for brutally punishing anyone who doesn't like and subscribe to this channel, so you have been warned. As the vicious leader of the so-called Red Mafia of Russia, he's been described as the world's most powerful gangster, and for good reason. Semion Mogilevich has been a massive and super difficult to catch mob boss in the international criminal underworld since the 1990s. He was born into a Jewish family in the summer of 1946 in Kiev, which was then part of the Soviet Union. He grew up in the Podol neighborhood and began his criminal career in the 1980s. Mogilevich's initial scam involved taking advantage of fellow Russian Jews who wanted to emigrate to Israel or America. He would promise to purchase their assets, sell them for a fair market value, and return the proceeds. But you guessed it, he would keep the money instead. This landed him in prison twice. Here's how it all started. In the late 1980s, during the final years of the Soviet Union, Russian veterans of the war in Afghanistan returned home with zero tolerance for conventional Soviet lifestyle. As the Soviet society was slowly dissolving and governmental control vanished, it created a perfect ground for a new era of anarchy and disorder. In this new environment, hardened soldiers were able to establish their own illegal businesses with little or no restriction. As you can imagine, organized crime skyrocketed, and Bratva, or Brotherhood, also known as the Red Mafia, was born. In this environment, our cunning Mogilevich was like a fish in water. Due to his financial background, he held a significant advantage over other lower-level criminals and therefore began laundering money for the Bratva. He did this by starting a petroleum import-export company called Arbat International, which was registered in Alderney, a well-known tax haven. During the early 1990s, Mogilevich moved to Israel, where, according to Israeli intelligence, he established a significant and influential political network. He also adopted several pseudonyms, such as the name Sergei Schneider, and held multiple passports from countries like Russia, Ukraine, Israel, and Greece. After marrying his Hungarian girlfriend, Katalin Pap, the couple moved to Prague, Czech Republic, where he established a series of nightclubs that eventually became big prostitution centers. In 1993, he made a lucrative agreement with the leaders of the Bratva crime family to acquire a jewelry business in Moscow and Hungary. Through his business, they moved jewelry, antiques, and art they stole from Russian churches and museums. But they didn't stop there. The mob also robbed art collectors' homes, Eastern European and German synagogues, and even stole rare religious books and Torahs, which they later sold for a profit. The following year, Mogilevich purchased a license to buy and sell weapons and took over much of Hungary's arms industry, including factories for anti-aircraft guns, artillery shells, and fire equipment. His ambition was so high that he also dealt in nuclear arms and even tried to make a deal to dump American toxic waste in the Chernobyl region. Now, that's what I call a think outside the box businessman. Additionally, Mogilevich purchased a bankrupt airline from a former Central Asian Soviet republic for millions of dollars, in cash, obviously.
Cash money, I'm gonna make it rain.
Which he used to traffic heroin out of the Golden Triangle. He controlled all imports and exports at Moscow's Sheremetyevo International Airport, which was also known as a smuggler's paradise. So how did he even appear on the FBI's radar, you ask? Well, due to his alleged involvement in a $150 million scheme to defraud thousands of investors in a Canadian company, YBM Magnex, Mogilevich forged documents for the Securities and Exchange Commission that caused the company's stock price to rise nearly 2,000%.
Son of a gun.
The FBI was amazed by Mogilevich's financial expertise, as he was able to take very dirty money and make it crisp clean, a skill that many other notorious gangsters desired. In addition, Mogilevich, just like a master chess player, was very strategic in providing information to Hungarian police and Germany's Federal Intelligence Service about rival gangs. By doing so, he looked like he was cooperating with authorities, while at the same time making it difficult for them to investigate him due to his ongoing contracts. According to a 1998 FBI report, Mogilevich was the snakehead of a group of approximately 250 criminals, including known killers such as Ivankov and Elson. Mogilevich's base in Prague appeared as luxurious villas on their outside, but on the inside contained a torture chamber where he liked to pass his free time supplying contract killers with weapons. You see, to get to his level, you would need to possess two essential qualities: utter lack of care for your victims and the ability to operate without boundaries. And these traits are exactly what makes him so dangerous. Mogilevich also expanded into the energy industry by purchasing natural gas pipelines in Russia and Eastern Europe, where he profited from Russia's position as a major gas supplier to Europe. In 2008, Mogilevich was finally arrested on tax evasion charges. But do you think he was even faced by it? After posting bail in 2009, he was added to the FBI's most wanted list with a reward of $100,000 for information leading to his capture. But guess what? There's no extradition agreement between the US and Russia, and to top it all off, Mogilevich seems to live and work under the protection of none other than Vladimir Putin himself. The former Ukrainian president, Leonid Kuchma, has claimed that Mogilevich and Putin have been friends for a long time, and Mogilevich is known to have close ties with former politicians in Russia and Ukraine. So, what does Trump have to do with all this? Although there is no evidence that Mogilevich and Donald Trump ever met, several of Mogilevich's associates have conducted business with the former US president, including David Bogatin, who used Trump's properties for money laundering. Mogilevich now lives in Moscow with his family and happily continues to maintain his criminal empire.
He's a crook.